Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CHAL PADHE NDA. Today, let us discuss about the NDA selection procedure, the written part, the SSB interview, and the medicals. This video is for the second part of the selection procedure, that is, the SSB interview, which is for 5 days. SSB interview. It consists of Day 1, OIR, test and PPDT, Officer Intelligence Rating and Picture Perception and Discussion Test. Day 2, Psychology or Interview. Day 3, Group Task or Interview. Day 4, Group Task or Interview. And Day 5, Conference. And for Air Force candidates, PABT, that is CPSS test can also be conducted. Today, we will detail more on the Day 1 procedure and the crucial part of SSB to show your performance, that is the screening test. The screening test. It includes reporting to the allocated SSB center, documentation, followed by breakfast. Then comes OAR, Officer Intelligence Rating. And comes the PPDT, that is a Picture Perception Discussion Test, post which the candidates will have their lunch and the screening results are declared. Then the screening candidates are stayed in the board and the remainder are sent away. The important part of Day 1, that is OIR, Officer Intelligence Rating. Let us discuss the conduct of OIR to get more clarity. OIR test consists of 2 booklets, verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. Booklet 1 of verbal reasoning comprises of 30 to 50 questions. The time allocated for that book is 70 to 30 minutes. After completion of booklet 1, another booklet is given, the booklet 2 of non-verbal reasoning comprising of 30 to 50 questions. Time allotted for this booklet is 70 to 30 minutes. We shall also discuss the assessment of this OIR also. That is, first of all, there is no negative marking for the test conducted in this phase. And the OIR 1, that is outstanding, OIR 2 excellent, OIR 3 above average, and OIR 4 average, and OIR 5 below average. The OIR ratings are made according to the marks scored by the candidates in the OIR test. That is, if it is between the range of 90 to 100%, that is out of 100 questions, if the candidate is able to give correctly to somewhere around 90 to 100, then it is OIR 1, then subsequently 80 to 90 OIR 2, then 70 to 80 OIR 3, then 60 to 70 OIR 4, then 50 to 60 OIR 5. And we shall also discuss about the syllabus of the OIR, that is the verbal section and the non-verbal section. Verbal section includes jumbled words, direction sentence test, spell correction, basic grammar, antonyms, synonyms, analogies, reconstruction of sentence, verbal detection, one-word substitution, odd one out, relationship, letter series, problems of ranks, coding and decoding, world groups, arithmetic quiz and competition questions, sentence completion, and many more. And the non-verbal section includes selecting similar figures, classification, which figure different from other, figure analogies, grouping of identical figures, figure matrix, special ability, spotting the embedded figures, completion of series, paper cutting and folding, locate of console figures, fill the correct figure, problems on cubes, problems on dice, visual pattern, and many more. So what can be done with this OIR? It is a simplest test. If you are getting stuck in one question, then skip to new question. Don't get stuck with that question only. Attempt all the questions since there is no negative marking. Don't worry about OIR if it did not go well. Focus on the next part of the day, that is the PPDT. That is Picture Perception and Discussion Test. Let us discuss the 3 elements of the test, that is perception, narration, and the discussion. Picture perception. An image is displayed for 30 seconds and the aspirants need to note down the details such as sex, age, and mood of the characters, action performed by them. The aspirants then create a story based on that image for 4 minutes. Next comes the individual narration. Each candidate gets a time limit of 50 to 60 seconds to deliver their written story. Next comes the group discussion. A group of 10 to 15 aspirants is formed from the batch, and each aspirant needs to narrate their story and then discuss it in the group to reach a common consensus. Post which, the group shall nominate one of the candidate to narrate their group story, and this person who got nominated for the group story doesn't add more score to him. It is just the judges just wanted to know the common story, and one person is representing to tell the group story. That's it. Let us discuss the format for writing a PPDT story. This is the format which I have shown below. Don't get panicked if it is not known even in the real SSB also. They would brief the pattern before the start of the exam. Also, to give you a satellite picture of it, let us discuss about the box. In the box, we need to mention the details of the characters. Like in the case given to us, we have M21 plus, which indicates M for male, 21 the age of the character, and plus represents the positive mood. So here a circle is also made around him, indicating that he is the central character of our story. So plus represents positive, negative minus represents negative mood, and 0 represents neutral mood, and M for male and F for female, and P for person if the gender is unable to distinguish. So with this we need to fill the given box to us. Next comes the action. We need to write the action which we are able to frame from the story, from the picture which is shown to us. Next we have to write the story which includes the requirements which I am going to discuss now. So what are the requirements of a PPDT story? Let us discuss what the story's requirement is basically. First thing, the story should be made around the picture. The story should answer 3 questions. They are: what led to the situation? What is happening in the situation? What is the possible outcome? And the qualities addressed in the story should reflect your own personality. It should not be copied from others, or a plagiarism should not happen. Actions in the story add more score than feelings, detailing, and observation. With this, I hope most of you would have got a basic idea how a PPDT story should be written. So let us practice now together and try to understand how a story can be written from a picture shown to us. Let us practice one PPDT story. I request all of you to take an A4 sheet and make a box and get ready with your actions. A picture will be shown to you for 30 seconds. You need to identify the characters, identify their mood, identify their age, and note down them, and need to form a story within 30 seconds of time, post which you will be given 4 minutes of time to write your own story. And this is the picture. As of now, 30 seconds will be given and you need to write a story for 4 minutes. You can pause the video and make your story and make your actions. I hope all of you are completed, and let me give an example from my opinion and what I made. A possible story from the picture which is shown to us. Rani is celebrating her 17th birthday, for which her friend gifted her a bicycle, which Rani felt very precious to receive on her auspicious day of her life. She had a long desire of learning cycle since childhood, which is now getting fulfilled with the present. Rani started learning cycle with the help of her friend, who accommodated and guided her. She took the cycle in the empty grounds and started balancing and pedaling it. She fell a couple of times in the practice, but was determined to stand up again and kept her efforts to fulfill her childhood dream. With her consistency and commitment, she learned it. Then onwards, she went to her school by cycle. Then she thanked her friend, thus the gift of cycle became a token of remembrance of her efforts. So this is a possible storyline. I am not expecting the same story to be written by all of you. And also don't worry about the grammar, spelling or the vocabulary usage. Be focused on the requirements which I have discussed earlier. So I hope all of you have written different stories. But let me break down my story to meet the requirements. As I said earlier, the story should be around the picture. In the picture, we have three elements. That is, we have one male person, one female person and a cycle. So throughout the story, my story is around the picture itself. It is not away from the picture. And the story should answer the three questions. That is, what led to the situation? The situation was the birthday of Rani, in which her friend gifted her a cycle. That was my situation. And what is happening in the situation? Rani is learning bicycle. That is happening in the situation. What is the possible outcome? Rani is now going to school with the cycle which is gifted by her friend. And qualities in the central character. That is curiosity to learn, determination, consistency in putting her efforts, gratitude towards her friend. I addressed all these qualities to the central character of my story. And main thing, in the picture, I have given actions to my story. That is balancing the cycle, slowly pedaling it, and giving attempts even after she fell, and giving attempts to start again, showing her determination. So I given actions how she is learning the cycle. So let me discuss the variations in the story also. So the story which I have written or which I have discussed, it is my story and it is my perception. There can be variations in the story also. Like my story is one variation, and also the second variation can be, it can be a cycling campaign to reduce the pollution, in which the protagonist and her friend made a cycle campaign in order to reduce the pollution levels in the society. Or the third variation can be meeting of childhood friends, in which they both were childhood friends and they are again meeting it, so they are having the nostalgia of the feelings. And the third comes the birthday celebrations, which I have told. The old friend is coming in the cycle and they went for the birthday celebrations. They enjoyed the day and they felt it was a great moment for their life. So all these are the variations in the story. So no story is correct or no story is incorrect. It is only the appropriation to the picture and appropriation to your personality. If your personality is having the qualities of determination, consistency, then my story would be apt. And if your qualities are related to enjoyment or some other, like if it is for exploration, rational thinking, then the story should be made accordingly. So qualities are never correct or incorrect. It is only whether the qualities are reflected in the story or not. That is all I would like to bring from this discussion. And discussion of the story. As I told earlier, in the PPDT, it is picture perception and discussion test also. So discussion of the story will happen along with your group. So in the discussion, don't worry about the age of the characters too much. Just make some approximate guess and just stick towards it. Don't be very aggressive towards it. Be always confident on the story which you have written only. See, it is my story, so I should be very confident about it. See, accordingly, my story is learning a cycle. So in the discussion part, my contribution should be how a person can learn the cycle. If your story is cycle campaigning, then be confident with your story itself, and throughout the discussion, you tell how a cycle campaigning can be conducted. So don't change for the sake of others. Do not change your story. You can add them. If it is a cycle campaign, you can add that how people have encouraged to learn cycles and make a cycle campaign, thus everyone can cycle and reduce the pollution. So you can mix up the stories, but never let your story down. Don't be aggressive and over dominate others. Be active throughout the discussion. Whether you get chance, you don't get chance, just be active. So to have better practice, we have few book suggestions for you. Book suggestions. That is the SSB OER by Colonel Anush Trivedi. This is one of the excellent book where you can practice officer intelligence rating test, and also few PPDT practices are also being given. So if you follow this book, you'll even get a better idea of it. and the SSB interview, the complete guide by Commodore N.K. Natarajan. This is an excellent book for throughout the 5 days procedure. You can go through this book for enhancing your preparations. With this, we would like to end this video. Forgive us for errors in the data. And finally, your support is our motivation and our content will be your inspiration, achieving excellence together. To boost your preparation, follow us in Telegram and Instagram also. Thank you all. Lots of love. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.